Well, as always, let's outline the problem. See this outlet? Okay, well here's my lovely fluke device here. You plug this in and it ain't correct. See, I got an open ground and that ain't gonna work. It's supposed to be 2 green lights there. See, 2 green lights is correct. 1 green light ain't correct. This runs my coffee maker and my toaster oven. I try not to make them run at the same time. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to replace this outlet, and I'm hopefully going to find some kind of ground back there. Let's just see if I do. And I've kind of got all the parts together, but the other thing I want to do is I want to be able to, come on, thank you. Well, it'll be a while before I see that. The other thing I want to do is put a switch here, and here's what we got on that. Okay, I got all this stuff over here. So I got a new outlet, heavier duty. I've got this, which ain't too heavy duty, but it'll be fine. And I got this inline switch here, and this is going to be for ground wire. I hope that if I find it. So I think I've got everything here. It looks like a big mess because it is a big mess. But everything you do is going to end up being a big mess. So hopefully at the end of this video, and you're wondering what my BMW sun visor is doing there, we'll talk about that later. I try to give you little preludes. And first of all, let's clean this up. It's a mess. But really, first of all, let's find this circuit. I wish I had something that made noise. That's okay. I'll figure it out. Got it on the first shot. Say, okay. Let's power's off. Let's make sure it's all the way in to make sure the power's off. Don't need to have my little detector thing. So let's get that outlet out there. See if we find a grounding, earthing copper cable that's just laid up in there. Okay. Well, I got this out anyway because I just like the flashlight. Won't hurt to just double, triple check here. So yeah, everything looks good. The other thing I was going to do is make sure you check everything's hot. So I want to, before I show you what I found here. So let me turn this off because, well, let me show you here. See that? I found the earth wire. That's that copper wire right there. So this is an Odysee chain. Okay, well I'll be able to do something with that. So I guess we can turn this off now. When you wire up something like I'm about to do, you'll see soon. The thin one, the thinner one is the hot one. And see, I got that red mark there. I've got my meter over here, and I've run out with continuity that this is the hot side. Okay, so when you wire up your plug, a lot of this stuff just stuff I had lying around. Obviously it's dirty. Just be sure that you wire this one to that one. It's usually rather plain, but you never know. I don't have much to work with here, but I don't want much to work with here. Mainly because I just want it to be neat looking. I don't want a bunch of cable hanging about here. And I know for a fact that somewhere in here is this, some white tape. Okay, because that'll help hide things. Well, I'm glad I found an earthing wire. That makes a guy feel good. God, I wish I'd have brought some needle nose up here. I guess I could use these. I got enough needle nose pliers to where I could bring some up here and leave them. Well, let me run down to the barn and get some. But anyway, just points to know. You want to keep your continuity. You know, hot side's hot. You just want to make sure you do that. So don't leave that on. Okay, let's run back down to the barn and get. I would use my Leatherman tool, but they don't. You know how those pliers are on that. They just don't work great. I mean, it's a fine tool for emergencies and sitting at your desk, but when it comes to something a little heavier, just go get the right tools. Third trip to the barn today. Love it. I need the steps, as they say. Okay, so I didn't take you down to the toolbox, but I just brought them all up here. So these are my choices, and I think I have found something interesting. When my dad, I don't know, was in his 30s or 40s or something, he got a isolite toolkit, a suitcase thing that I gave to Mick. Not really my bailiwick because it's like an electrician's thing. I did automotive stuff, but not dang nice of him anyway to will that to me. And he said, you know, make sure that, you know, I want you to have this. But it was a beautiful thing. And I think I tried to collect up every tool I could, but I think this is out of that toolkit. You might not can see it magnified, but it says isolite right there. So that came out of that toolkit. I gave Mick, I thought, most everything else, unless it was something I generally had to have. And these look like they belong. The springs busted out of them. Well, it's okay. Uncle Bud used to paint all his tools red right when he got them, so if somebody ever stole them, he could identify them. I think that's why he did it. I don't know. But that looks like something might have been Uncle Bud's, but I don't think so. My dad might, you know, Uncle Bud was older than my dad. I think by about 5 years or something. Maybe more, I don't remember. So that could be some habit that my dad had left over from Uncle Bud. But I'm kind of glad to find these. These are rather substantial. Most of the tools in that kit were not rather substantial. So anyway, let's get back to work over here. I have made my little circuit here. This is going to be plugging into the wall. It's important that, at least for me, I don't run the hot wire through this. That just means it's on the red stripe back there. This is the hot wire here. It is uninterrupted. I'll show you in a minute. But, okay, so here you're going to ask yourself a question. Well, I'm going to get ready to switch this on. Okay, there's my test. It's fine. But you say, uh-oh, what's your problem there? Well, that's because this is not a grounded plug. And I know that I have them down there. I started to use one, but I kind of just want the flatness. Ready? Okay, so you'll see here in a second that this GFCI, of course, is GFCI'd. Now I'm earthing thing up. See? Well, I got a little problem there, but they'll do that sometimes because the GFCIs will. They'll give you that red light. Well, you can't see a thing, can you? Okay. So, well, that's really kind of strange, isn't it? So, it's okay. See, I can test it and it's fine. See, the little red light comes on over there, and you can reset it, and it's fine. So, that tells you it's okay. But these can sometimes mislead you a little bit, especially on G. That's one of the reasons that the little pickup things don't work. The voltage, the non-contact detectors don't work so good on those. But anyway, I don't want to put the breaker back on because I got this socket out here. Oh, I got to do some more work on that. All right, so there's no way to kill time. The words of Dell Street. Okay, so I'm going to kind of take this up and make it a little safer. And all this stuff I just had lying down there. I didn't have to go get anything. So, see, that's going to be a hot spot there because of the way I decided to make it super duper contacting in there. So let's take this up. Now, the other thing I got to do, now, because we're on a sideways outlet, yeah, I'm watching Matt Walsh. Okay, listening sometimes as it is. So because I want the wire to go this way toward my toaster oven, I've got to, and this is a sideways outlet, so you don't have to worry about which way's up. But in this case, we're going to do it like this, see? So I want the thin one going up, so I'm going to have to put this outlet in here this way, which is okay with me because it don't matter because it's a sideways thing. I think some states, most of the outlets are sideways, so I don't have to worry about it very much. And I did decide on using those to straighten out those shepherd's hooks and all that stuff like that. So I hope that thing goes in there because that's a little bigger. I think it's okay. Yeah, I think that's a heavy duty one. It's just not quite the amperage. I realize that ain't probably the size wire, but it's pretty good stuff. It passes my smell test anyway. It looks like it's pretty beefy. So it's more beefy than some others I have seen. So let's change this outlet out. So now we know which way we want to go. We want to go just like that. Okay. And I got to tap into that earthing strap or whatever you want to call it, ground fault wire. Well, I can't remember what they call it. It's the hot, it's the runner, and it's the bare copper one or green one, earth, ground, whatever. I get so confused by that because I do automotive stuff, but you know, the one that goes back to the board that goes to the neutral. That I don't. You have to go look on all kind of internet things and figure why in the cat hair do they do that? Well, it's because it works. Well, I've got my extension made for my earthing thing, and I discovered something. I went in there to get a cool drink. I love this cup. I use it for hot and cold. I don't know who makes it. China makes it. Found this at Academy the other day when I got some new shoes. So I got some Asics and I got some Brooks. So look at that. Boy, you hardly ever see me with multiple sets of tennis shoes. I just wear the heck out of them until they bust, and then I'll have some in reserve. But I kind of splurged a little bit. But anyway, loving the cup. So I went in here to get my cup for my refrigerator, and it's dark. It's because it's on that circuit. That should be dedicated. If I'd have known that when I put the refrigerator in, I would have rewired. I'd have gone under the house and done that. So I will have to make a note of this. So that does need to be on its own circuit. Dadgummit, it's always something. Well, I'm glad I found it. Okay, let's get this hook back up so I can turn my refrigerator back on. One of the cool things that I like to highlight every chance I get is that there's a little hole right here on the grounding side, and let's see it right there. What that's for, see if you got your, I just got this was left over from my making extension. All you got to do is stick your wire in there and just come around like this, and then there you go. Tighten that down and you're done. You don't have to make a shepherd's hook or anything. You can just fold it around. Saved a little time, and it's very, very positive. So I always like to talk about that when I can. Just a beautiful thing. So, okay. And it doesn't matter if it hits here because that's where it comes from. So don't worry about that. That's just a beautiful thing that just saves a lot of time. Gives you real positive contact. Oh, I just heard the ice maker go off. Refrigerator's back on. So we got this heavier duty, nicer outlet here. Well, the moment of truth is here, as the dentist would tell you. Let's see how I did. Correct! Da-da-da! I'm so proud. Alright. That's nice and good and point. Where is that right there? So let's look in here just to make sure. Yep. Yay! Alright, that really bugs me. I could have just probably just taken these offline when I had all this opened up when I put the new dishwasher in some time ago, but alright, well, I don't mind the gray, and I don't mind the mixture of colors. It doesn't bother me in the least. As a matter of fact, if you noticed, I think the bathroom one's like that too. I like the gray ones. Gray's my favorite color. So, because I'm mostly colorblind, or so I'm told. I'm not sure about that, but how can you know? How do you tell a blind man about red, huh? Can't. All right, there you go. There you go. So Now this one, like I said, is going to go in this way. Okay, and we're going to plug this in now. It's going to come up without the ground fault. You know, I can't do everything. Okay, off. Oh, there you go. Just the way you want it, right there. Cool. Alright, so all I have to do now is wrap this with white tape so it won't be so ugly. And we'll see what it looks like, and we'll close this out. Fun day. Fun to get this better, that's for sure. I love having my switched little USB port things. I like that a lot. With the super microchip in there, I recommend that highly. So anyway, let's finish this out, and I'll show you what it looks like. This thing here, who makes this thing? Black & Decker. I'll show you the other reason why I am doing this is because if I never recommend. This was a discussion I had yesterday with somebody. If you have these kind of timers on stuff like this, I try never to force them. So if I want to stop toasting, I just was unplugging over here, and that's just probably not good. That's kind of wear the outlet out, you know, over time. But the other thing about this is it has a stay on thing. So if you force this off, you can put it on stay on, and it is a millimeter away. So it's just not good to have it stay on. And then the timer doesn't click. I'll demonstrate that as soon as that runs out. But I try never to force those clock type timers. Just not good for them. Okay, let's close the lid on this. So we've got it all going here. So let me show you what I mean. We're gonna turn. Let's just turn this on. So when I hit this switch back here, the light will come on. See? There you go. Don't want that running any length of time. Yeah, but this thing here is kind of dangerous because I let the timer run out, and see, all you got to do is just go right there, and it stays on. It comes on and it stays on. So, and you see, it doesn't make the clicky noise. So we don't want that staying on. And it's just too close in my opinion. So now, if I'm toasting something or warming something up, I just hit right here, and it turns that off and just lets it run out. And when I leave the house, I can just turn it off. I put the red dot on it so I know it's hot. I've decided to make it a little bit wider. So anyway, boy, I can't tell you to do anything like this, but it gives me a little bit more room out on my coffee grinder. And I never buy ground coffee. I get whole bean. Old Bean. Who knows what movie that's from? It's a Cary Grant movie, I think, called Suspicion. Okay, well, time to clean up. Got a couple other things I'm going to do. And there you go, it just went out. So I usually like putting that on minimum too. And turning all that off. But anyway, it is off. So just a little double safety thing. So that's it. So give us a thumbs up. And thanks for spending time with me. And subscribe. And I'm going to talk about this right now.